Hello everyone, welcome back to Last Call BBS. I thought today we would get back to ChipWizard Professional. And so what did I... These icons are a little hard to read, but I guess I've done the first 6. And we can either do an ignition sequencer or an interrupt controller. See what's up next. God, there's always so little space in these things. You gotta do a ton of stuff in 5x6. Alright, what am I supposed to do? Each output should be high when its corresponding input is high, but if a lower numbered input is high, it should block the higher number outputs from activating. That seems fairly simple, right? If a lower numbered input is high, it should block... Okay, so 1 takes priority over 2, which takes priority over 3. So 1, we can really just wire straight out there, right? Yeah, this is like so easy. How come the last one was so much harder? So obviously it's not actually all going to be metal. Let's knock out these spaces and this space. And so blue blocks, so we want red like that, and like that, right? With blue coming like this. I guess I need to knock a space out here as well. Wait, no I don't. And then just knock in some vias, right? This is it. So 1 always flows to 1. 2 flows to 2 unless 1 is high. I assume you're allowed to run things through each other like this. I guess we'll find out. And 3 flows to 3 unless 1 blocks it or 2 blocks it. Yeah. Now, sure. It uses a little more space than necessary because remember it's only measuring us on amount of silicon used. We could find a trivial improvement here. If we squeezed everything down a bit like that. Nope. I mean, I guess this is right, except the blue has to go through there, both of those, right? And this metal can come like that. I guess I need that to go through, right? Vias like that. So this takes up a bit less space, right? I think. But it's wrong, so that's bad. Oh, we didn't disconnect this bit of metal. There we go. More wrong. Specifically, out 3 is wrong. Oh. Yeah, this, it's reading, from the wrong thing. There we go. That's more reasonable on size. Yeah, I guess it makes sense that not many people happen to have this size because it's pretty easy to shrink it again if you want. I think. It seems to me that the important thing in this game is mostly to ignore the metal. I mean, you can't ignore it, but you want to design things at the silicon layer and then like route the metal around it if possible, and then only adjust the silicon layer if you have to. Here, we could very easily take this Tetris block and rotate it so that this piece goes here. Right, kind of pivot it around this axis, 90 degrees this way. And then we would have... Or not around this axis, because then these would collide. But, you know, put... Well... I guess I mean, like, rotate it around its center point here and then lift it a bit. Because if you just rotate it around the center, it drops off the bottom. But if you rotate it and then lift it, then you have a 3x5. And apparently a 3x4 is possible, but it's less obvious to me how. Because you actually need, I think, 11 tiles of silicon, don't you? And so, of course, squeezing 11 tiles into a 12 tile region, which is what 3x4 is not impossible. But it means you're wasting very little space. And I wouldn't have thought you could pack efficiently into that kind of space with what you have to do here. I mean, I guess one point of note is this transistor could go before these. Okay. But so what? I don't know. I'm just going to leave it alone. Who cares? I'm just here to solve puzzles, not to get high scores. I could improve it pretty trivially, and I just don't care. And I couldn't figure out how to do it, like, maximally efficiently. How do I next level? Give me the ignition sequencer. We're making rockets today. When run is activated, each output should activate with the indicated timing delays. So, does run... It goes up and down as soon as it goes down. So isn't this just using, like, transistors? Right? What's hard here? So, like, there should be two transistors. Oh, that's voltage. There should be two transistors before connecting to out. Not transistors, capacitors. Two more before connecting to out 2. And then 4 more. And actually, since we're being scored on area, we could do it more efficiently like this, right? Like, is this not just the answer? Something's wrong here. Oh, yeah, there's 5 of these. I see. Just like make sure there's only 4 of them. So yes, you could cram it into a smaller area, but that's wrong, right? At least without making some other changes. Actually, you could do it like that, right? And then we only have a 2x4 area, which, since we need 8 capacitors, must be the optimal score? Question mark? Yeah. So no problem there. That was way easier than the last 2, I feel like. Equality tester. When they're either both high or both low. So I guess that's simple enough. If we just run in 1 to out, that's obviously incorrect. But we can stick 1 transistor in there. Wait a minute. If they're both high or both low. Yes. So a transistor of this shape, which actually we're going to have to move because we're going to need some positive voltage somewhere. Maybe we can use this one. When they're... So this works when they're both high. We knew that already. And for them being both low, we should have blue silicon for each of them blocking red silicon, sending plus V out, right? So we want something like that. Now, it's kind of impossible to get in A down here, isn't it? Without, like, sadly having to run something through the silicon layer, which costs me points. Okay, let's just move it up a little bit more. And just be, like, extremely wasteful. Wait a minute. No, this is not a blue representing an A. It's a blue that might have been cut off by an A. By an B, rather. So I mean, like, this is unbelievably expensive. Also, I didn't have to run it up after all. It's very wasteful of space. But I believe this meets the requirements. Let's just check real quick. Yes, okay. Now, a quick improvement. Although I guess it's not saving us any any actual score because we're still using the same area, but a little bit less blue silicon at least. Couldn't we save some score by shifting all of this up by 1? What is the reason that I couldn't do that? I don't see one. Oh wait, I actually don't mind if this is connected. I just have to not put a via in, right? Yes, that's a little bit less space used. And I think I could squeeze out this leftmost column as well, getting us down to 4 by 4 pretty easily. If we just take this Tetris piece and rotate it a bit. Okay, so move the metal like that. I don't think this matters, but it feels nicer to have a little bit of vacant space here. And it's okay. It kind of feels natural to want to rotate it clockwise so that this piece ends up here and this piece ends up here, with this kind of sticking out to the left, because it leaves more space on the outside and the inside is more compact, right? But we're only being measured on area, and those both have the same footprint. And it's easier to do the routing if I have the red piece stick inward. So I want a via here for one of the blue terminals. The other one is here. But it's coming from here, not from here. So, like that. Right? Yes. So that's an improvement. Getting it down to 12, I don't feel smart enough for that. So we're just going to leave it. Try a dual oscillator. It looks almost like it says oval oscillator. The font's not quite that clear. Ooh, okay. Fast and slow should oscillate. All right, this is the first time we have a circuit that feeds back on itself, right? We have state now. It's not controlled by its inputs. But this seems all right. So we just have fast wired up to itself, except that we put a couple capacitors in here. Right? So that should get the fast input oscillating properly. Nope, fast never goes high. Oh, a period of 2. I see. So hang on. Wait, also, why does it never go high? Oh, I see. It should be high for... So capacitor, remove both of those and put one here? Is that what you were asking for? No, not here, but... Well, there kind of has to be one here, right? Yeah, there we go. And we do the same thing here, except with 3 of them on each leg. And I guess we can squeeze that one in a little bit tighter. Can't avoid using this bottom row or this right column, huh? Ah, wait a minute. Periods of 2 and 6. So can I use the clock from fast to trigger slow? Rather than reinventing them as 2 separate circuits? Presumably, yes. I mean, not really. I'm sure you can. If we were asked for 2 and 4, that would be much easier. 2 and 6 is confusing. Well, okay. I mean, I don't love it, but... There you go, it's finished. Much more efficient ways to pack things, I guess, surely, somehow. Safety interlock. So, I see. If both are high, trigger the alarm. Otherwise, trigger only the one that's high. And the other is not. I mean, this seems very simple conceptually, right? We want something like that for the normal parts. And then for the alarm, we want something that looks like that, right? And what's triggering this? Okay, it's a little bit complicated to route them, probably. Maybe I have to scoot something over a bit. because now I have to get in A to here and in B to here. Actually, is that hard? It doesn't look that hard. Don't forget you can go over stuff. And then I guess we'll just have to have in B. Yeah, I guess we do have to send a little metal up. Like that, right? That's a solution. I got the... No, out A is wrong. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Because what I brought up here is a signal that was already diluted. In A was feeding back. When in A was high, this wire couldn't set high even if in B was high. So A was preventing B, but B wasn't preventing A. Right. This metal does not represent in A, it represents out. Sorry, in B, it represents out B. My goodness, I hate routing. So why do I play these games then? It is a challenge. Have to get this signal to here. Now, it kind of seems natural to take these two smaller transistors and move them off into the corners, which feels like it gives me more routing control, but I don't know if it's actually true. All right, can I like copy this solution or something? No, this doesn't have... Oh, here they are. Oh man, but I want to copy it all. I don't want... No, give me the manual. I don't think the manual is useful, but maybe it is. Interface overview. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just leave this one as a mark of something that's almost done. And recall that we wanted something like this here. So I think this is all like fairly simple. And let's run a blue the whole length of the universe, probably, right? Because I'm going to need the metal layer for a lot of things. Now, I could jump this over with the metal layer. Or I could jump... Like, don't I kind of have to do that? But if I do that, then this is trapped, right? So I have to either scoot this to the right or do something else. And I'm not sure what something else would be right now. Hey, knock it off. I meant to edit the metal layer. So if this comes down, we also need something up here. And that's where it gets kind of tricky, right? I don't know, I guess this could be all metal? And this can plug in anyway, like that, right? So if this, okay, this is metal, goes to there, then we can have it kind of fork off to that if we wanted. Although I'm not sure if that's best. In fact, probably that's better. To leave me lots of space down here to work with. Then I just have these two signals here that I have to make something out of. Which is easy, right? It looks like that. Oh, look at that. I end up not needing that last bit of silicon this way. So there's a whole column we're not using. Incredible. Right? What happens if I run this? It's beautiful. Hey, new messages. The hookup. That's when I got the hookup. A bunch of us had gone on a work trip to Hong Kong. While we were there, Don led me into a marketplace full of small stalls with vendors selling all kinds of electronic gadgets. I thought maybe he was going to get some parts or something. Instead, he talked to a guy who handed him a thick paper catalog as big as a telephone book. He flipped to the C's and found ChipWizard Professional cracked. The guy in the stall nodded and yelled to another guy in the back who made us a copy right there on a microdisc while we waited. Amazing. So that was how he learned to use silicon and hardware, I guess. Yeah, I mean, obviously we can do it a lot better here. There's like, these techniques look like wizardry to me. Mine's 5x5. Apparently you can do 5x3. Yowza. All right, that's enough ChipWizard for the day. I can only take so much. It's a challenge. All right, let's work on Dungeons and Diagrams for a bit instead. Wow, never seen so much treasure. This treasure room can't extend down here because then it would be connected. So I'm not saying this is a wall, but it can't be part of this treasure room. So this treasure room has to go up that high at least. And now we found all the walls in this row. And in this column. So now we know the shape of this treasure room. If there's one more wall here, I think it could be either one so far. I don't have a proof that it's one or the other. Let's see, this treasure room can't go up at all, because if it did, it would be touching this treasure, which is not allowed. So this is the shape of that treasure room, and we've got the walls. Oh my god, my mouse, please. We've got our path into here. This is finished. This must be the path out of the treasure room, so we have all this. Uh-oh. Why you have to be mad? All right, start over. This treasure room extends out to at least here. This one goes out to at least here. This one goes out to at least here. There's 5 here, so that's got to be all wall. These are all open. This is now definitely the shape of the treasure room. This treasure room can't go down at all because then it would overlap with this treasure room. So it must go up exclusively. And it can only go left at most once without overlapping with this one. So it also goes to the right. This 6 column has to have two total empty spaces in it. One of them is the exit from this treasure room. The other one is the exit from this treasure room, question mark? I think? Is it possible the exit to this treasure room isn't along this 6? Well, yes. In fact, I know that to be the case. No, I guess I don't. Because this could be the exit. Oh. In fact, I know it's not along this row, right? Or this 6 column. Because either this or this must be the exit from the treasure room. Since it's 4 tall and is touching the treasure room. So there definitely are walls here. Three walls in this column looks hard to do. Okay, hang on. This treasure room can't go up at all because it would be touching this one, right? So we know it's shaped like this. And I've blown up my treasure room, my puzzle again. I've somehow proved that this column has only 2 walls in it, but there are 3. Huh. So, start over. because it's hard to figure out where you went wrong looking at a puzzle where you've got incorrect markings. This treasure room must extend out at least to these 2 squares. And this one. This treasure room must expand out at least this far. This treasure room has to go at least to here, and therefore these are all walls. Therefore we know this is the shape of this treasure room. We've been down this road before, but I'll not make a mistake this time. Knock on wood. This column is finished. Maybe I made some false conclusion with this treasure room? I don't think so. Because could it go down? No, right? It would be overlapping with this treasure room if it did. Or not overlapping, but they would be contiguous. And 2 openings in a treasure room can never be contiguous to each other. 2 openings in 2 different treasure rooms. They can have a single space gap between them, that's the path, as long as that path leads to another place as well. But we're looking at where the treasure room itself can be. This is clearly part of the treasure room. So if this were part of the other treasure room, we'd have a problem. Therefore, it goes up like that. And this one can't go up because it would be touching that treasure room. So it goes down like this. Now we found the 2 walls in this row. And this column. That's a wall. This is the opening. And I've broken the same constraint. This has to be a wall, obviously. Is there some way that, like... I mean, no, right? What? The treasure room is 3 by 3. It has to go to at least here. And it has to go up. So it has to go to at least here. Treasure room is 3 by 3. It has to go that way. This treasure room. It's 3 by 3. Even if this is the top left corner, or the middle, or whatever, these 3 squares have to be part of that treasure room. This 5, we filled this in. We got all the walls in this area. We know this is the shape of the treasure room, question mark? What else could it be? Wait a minute. Oh my god, what a classic D&D trope. Oh, you got me. Oh. This one's a mimic. It's not a real treasure room. Look at it. It's moving. All right, very, very funny. I like it. Because I was like, there's no way this can make up a treasure room. It like needs walls around it down here or something. Okay. So this treasure room goes to here at least. This one goes to here at least. It even says the illusory hoard as a hint. So now what we can't do is like this. That was what was wrong before. Probably more, but that was the start of the problems. This treasure chest, though, still can't go 2 steps left, so it has to go at least 1 to the right. And it can't go 2 steps down either, Because then there'd be a monster in the treasure room, which is not allowed. But it could, I think, go one step down. If the treasure room were like here and these were walling in the monster. But now that I don't believe this is a treasure, it's much harder to see what to do next. This almost has to be a wall, doesn't it? Could it possibly not be a wall? Could the treasure go up here? I think it is. No, it's not possible. Because then there'd be four open spaces in this row and not room for 5 walls. So the treasure room does go down here. Now, I still don't know how many walls are here, but I do know that's where the treasure room is. Well, no. I was kind of thinking, like, is it possible for both of these to be wall? Wouldn't it be kind of weird, because then only one of these would be wall? But I think it's okay. This 6 has got to be important somehow. It's the biggest thing I've got to work with. Well, actually, wait a minute. Let's look at the bottom 3 rows in combination. There's only 4 total walls in this entire area. That seems like quite a shocker, doesn't it? There have to be at least 2 of them over here to allow an exit, like to allow walls around the treasure room and 1 space for exiting. And that means that in this 12 square area, there are just 2 walls. And we have to prevent 2x2s in that area? That's kind of hard, isn't it? Like, I wanted to say, well, the only solution is this. And that does prevent 2x2s here, but of course it's illegal for other reasons. How else could you solve this? Keeping in mind that there are no treasure rooms in this area either. So these 12. Well, okay, here's another, I guess, point. I said there are at least 2 walls here. Could there be 3? No. because then there'd be only one wall in this entire 3x4 region. And no matter where you put it, there's going to be an open 2x2 somewhere. So we can say this much is true. The treasure room's exit is somewhere to the east of it. And that gives us this column, which is nice. But it doesn't let us extend the treasure room either up or down because we don't know. We know one of these... Oh, maybe this is interesting. One of these two is the exit to the treasure room. But we don't know which. I thought that might let me... Well, okay. So can the treasure room extend to the right then? No, because then I'd need 3 walls here, which is way more than I have. In fact, I could have just looked at this column and said it needs 2 walls. There's no way... And it already has 1, so there's only 1 left. There's no way you could close in the treasure room on this side. So in fact, the treasure room extends to the left. And therefore, not to the right. And since the exit is either this square or this square, these must be walled off, because they're next to the treasure room and they aren't next to the exit. Or they aren't part of the exit, or what have you. This 6 column needs one of its 2 spaces to be one of these squares, and one of its 2 spaces to be one of these squares. So this is not an open space, it's a wall. There's room for exactly 1 wall in this area, and therefore 2 open spaces. Now, the question I pose is, can the wall be in the middle? Can there be 2 open spaces like this? The answer is no. Because if there were, the single connected route would involve leaving this area and then coming back to it. I guess that might not be theoretically impossible. It is, though. Because I was thinking, okay, well, maybe this could be a dead end, and then, like, up and then here would be allowed. But it can't be. Because there's just not nearly enough walls to fill in all this space. And also because the path to here would end up going through a treasure room twice, or having 3 exits to a treasure room or something like that. So this cannot be the last wall in this row. It has to be open. We are either going up left or up right through this square. Okay. Maybe not super important. Could this be the treasure room? That seems the most likely outcome, right? The tougher question is, could this be treasure room? Or the question more likely to yield interesting results is whether this could be part of the treasure room. Then I don't think it could be part of the treasure room, right? Because if this were part of the treasure room, then this would have to be walled off because this is the exit. Which means this entire top row would be out of walls. We use them both up here. So it has to go like this. Which is touching the treasure room in 2 different places. So, okay, fine. It can be the entrance to the treasure room here, I guess. And then this is the treasure room. But then there's no way back out to the rest of the world. This can't also be the entrance to the treasure room. So yeah, this can't be open. This has to be wall. And this has to be treasure room. And that means this is the exit. And that's a wall. That's also a thing. Okay. Oh, right. This is the treasure room. Don't get tricked. It's not real. This treasure room is 3 by 3 in these 4 tiles. We don't know which, but we do know that there's one more wall needed on each of these rows. Therefore, the treasure room can't end here. No, that's not true. Of course it can. This could be yeah. What I was going to say before I interrupted myself mid-sentence with this idea that's totally wrong is that the exit to the treasure room can't be up here. It has to be along the bottom. Because otherwise, if it were up here, these 3 2s, one of them would be smaller than the others, and it's not. Oh. I just realized one reason that I was having trouble down in this area. 2 and 1 and 2 is 5. It's not 4. So after we use up 2 of our walls here, there are 3 left in this region to block it off, not 2. With 2, I think it's sort of impossible if one of them... I don't know, isn't it? Maybe it's just impossible, period? No, because it could be these 2. But we know that's not allowed because of this one. So... can we say more about which they might be? I mean, it looks kind of like this, doesn't it? I don't think this is guaranteed that it's this exact shape. You could have some reflection of it. Like that. Okay, a question to ask is it possible to do this if all of these are open? Because that would be the case if we didn't have the exit here. I think the answer must be no, right? We need 2 boxes on each of these rows. And we only have 3 to spend, so no. Therefore, we can say this must be the exit to the treasure room, and these are walls. For what that's worth. Oh, you know what? We've had for a while, this row is finished. And that means this column is finished. Okay, so we didn't have to do the hard work on this stuff, but it was kind of cool. These have to be walls to prevent a 2x2. And then I guess this is the other wall. Meaning the route around is like this. And that has to be a dead end where the mimic is hidden. Okay, boy, that Mimic was harder than ChipWizard, man. He really got me. And then even once I found him, I still had trouble with the puzzle. I like this one. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.